There's been a lot written about DORA and NIS2 recently and their impact on EU organisations in terms of the cybersecurity requirements people will have to bring in order to comply with them. The interesting thing about them is they're quite similar. However, DORA is actually a regulation in the EU, which means it becomes law immediately that it's brought in, whereas NIS2 was a directive, which means it's not law and all the EU member states need to write it into their local laws in order for it to become mandated. In terms of other differences, DORA is focused on financial services and really about improving operational and digital resiliency in that sector within the EU. Whereas NIS2 is quite interesting because it is taking a much broader approach and covers many industries. And actually in the NIS2 release compared to version 1, they broadened the types of organisation that will be covered by the directive to be much wider than before, bringing in a lot of organisations that weren't previously regulated to be regulated for perhaps the first time. Some of the similarities between the two is they are both focused on things like third-party risk. Supply chain is a big theme across both. This is interesting because it means it's not just companies that are headquartered in the EU and companies that maybe have a division in the EU that have to abide by them. But this also places constraints on companies that supply either of the previous two categories. They won't necessarily be directly regulated, but what they're going to find is that the companies that need to abide by NIS2 or DORA are going to be demanding higher standards of security such that they can demonstrate to the regulators for either framework that they are ensuring really high quality of security in their whole supply chain. The other theme that's common between the two is threat intelligence sharing, so making sure that information is shared across companies where it can improve the security of all of them together. And actually one of the biggest themes of NIS2 is kind of doing this across the whole EU. So really about raising the bar for every organisation that is in one of the industries in scope across the whole of the EU to be applying similar standards, sharing information regularly so that they're all kind of supporting one another, bringing one another up. So it's really this kind of general, rising tide type approach to cybersecurity in the EU.